guys, welcome back to another episode of the CRNA Club podcast. I hope you are doing well. Today I have a short and sweet encouragement episode for you. Partly I'm speaking this to myself, but as a reminder, but also to you. A couple of weeks ago, we launched a major update to the CRNA Club membership. In a couple of these episodes, I've talked about the arduous journey that I've been on, essentially rebuilding the platform from scratch since about May of this year. I had tried to launch the vision of what is now the CRNA Club membership, which is more of an application tool. It's a personalized dashboard. It's got all these incredible custom personalized resources that are just for you. It's not just a content membership. It's way more than that. But I had tried to launch this in August of 2024. And it took me an entire year to rebuild it because I've had a couple of major just bad luck. I believe everything happens for a reason. And I'm so happy with the new development team that I've worked with now to kind of bring this version to life. But previously I had a terrible time back in the first quarter of this year. But anyway, it was a really challenging time because all of the energy and effort that I had was spent trying to fix what I had built instead of being able to pour into you guys and produce more content and come up with more resources and tools for you. I was stuck fixing a project that I had thought was done. So anyway, that was just a real mental challenge over the past 7 or 8 months. And now I can say I'm finally on the other side. We've just launched our latest update, which is our biggest update to date. Still working out some big kinks there, but ultimately the platform is 90% of where I want it to be as a tool for you guys with resources for you. And the reason why I tell that story is because over the past year, I had a lot of moments where I was just questioning, okay, is this really worth it? Like, I'm staying up till 2 a.m. trying to troubleshoot something, or I am, dealing with people emailing me, say that they can't access something, or they're upset because they can't find something. And, it's just me. Like, people email me and they think that I have a huge team and that I don't read the emails. And I get some pretty rude emails and they're like, oh, sorry, I didn't think anybody looked at this email. And I was like, yeah, that's me. I look at these emails. Like, I try to respond to everybody. May take a while, but I do. And it just became like, man, this used to be so fun and I love doing it. And now I'm like in the pits trying to fix this tool. And it was just pretty terrible, to be honest. I can talk about it now that I'm on the other side. But the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I know that some of you are deep in the application process, your second, your third application cycle, and you are asking yourself the same question. Is this worth it? Is the juice really worth the squeeze? I'm not even in school and I'm already sacrificing my weekends, my late nights. I'm stressed out. I'm juggling taking organic chemistry and statistics and taking these graduate classes while trying to study for my CCRN just to get denied and told that I'm not competitive enough. When I feel like I really went above and beyond and my GPA is there, my critical care experience is there. It's like, well, what more can I do? And I know that feeling is so frustrating. And it just feels like you open up Instagram and everybody's getting accepted and they're like, my stats, and their stats are crappier than yours. And you're like, are you kidding me? Like, I have, twice the ICU experience and my GPA is better and blah, 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 and you're just like angry about it. And I get that. I think naturally as critical care nurses and as future CRNAs, it's like you're competitive. You wanna get in, you wanna become a CRNA. And naturally, like, that's our personalities. We're go-getters, right? So I totally get that. But I just wanted to give you a little encouragement because if you're listening to this and you're really feeling that, you're like, I am just struggling here. I'm feeling so discouraged. I just feel like I'm not good enough. Everybody seems to be getting in and I am just not getting any wins. I want you to know, just keep showing up. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other, moving towards the general direction of your goal. Really, when we start to get frustrated with ourselves or angry that we're not achieving something, a lot of the times it has to do with this false timeline that we've put on ourselves. We tell ourselves like, okay, I want to start to apply to CRNA school at the end of 2025, fall 2025. And then we work so hard to get there, and we've put this arbitrary date out there, by the end of 2026, I want to be accepted. And when that doesn't happen, we get upset. But like, where did that number even come from? Yeah, it's great to have goals. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely believe that you should have goals. But sometimes the goal is just not realistic. So when you say, I want to get into CRNA school and I want to apply to just one program or two programs, absolutely that can happen. I'm not saying that it won't. But what I'm saying is, maybe we can have more realistic goals of like, okay, I want to get into CRNA school within the next 2 years, and I want to apply to a minimum of 10 programs in those 2 application cycles. And all of a sudden that takes the pressure off. That becomes a little more achievable. I noticed that in my personal life, when I feel the most stress, it's because of unrealistic deadlines. And a lot of the times these deadlines are ones that I've put on myself kind of arbitrarily based on a feeling, right? I feel like I want to get into CRNA school by the end of 2025. I feel like I want to get my CCRN done in the next 2 months. Well, let's map it out. Let's see how many shifts you have in the next 8 weeks. How many other commitments do you have? How many mental health days are you going to have to hang out with your friends? Okay, how many days does that actually leave for you to study? Okay, it leaves you 9 days to study. Okay, let's break it down. Out of those 9 days, how long during the day can you actually realistically sit at a Starbucks and study? Is it 6 hours a day? Is it 8 hours a day? Okay, great. So if you're saying that you want to take the CCRN in 2 months, let's make up a realistic plan to do that. Map it out. If you're saying, I'm going to take the GRE in 3 months, do the same thing. Map out those days, see what you've actually got going on, what vacations you have coming up, what holidays are there, what else do you have going on for your application that's running in congruence with studying for the GRE? Are you taking your CCRN? Are you going to look for a prerequisite course? Do you have to attend an out-of-state AANA event or something like that? It really, really will help you to learn to set realistic goals, because that is one of the ways that you can stress yourself out the most, is having these unrealistic goals. So I encourage you to just take a look at your timeline, take a look at the goals that you're setting and say, okay, am I basing this goal just off a feeling of what I quote unquote think I can get done? Where's the data behind that? Let's map this out. Because I noticed that a lot of people are actually just really poor planners, and planning and organization happens to be one of my strengths, one of the things I am best at. And I've noticed this as I've, started another business with a business partner. I noticed that we both bring different things to the table. Professor Timmer and I we co-founded Atomic Anesthesia. We both have our strengths. One of my strengths is organization, operations, and project planning. And that is essentially one of the huge reasons why I built our new platform, is because I wanted you guys to be super organized. I wanted you to see every single action item for each major milestone that I have mapped out for you. What are the things you need to do for your resume? What are the things you need to do for your essay? How far in advance should you get your first, second, third draft, final draft completed? When should you be requesting those letters of recommendation for school A, B, and C? Like, that's literally how granular I got. Of course, you can edit all this stuff, but I'm trying to help you see that, okay, if you want to apply to 4 programs, you've got these plates spinning here. They're going to be in motion at all different times of the year, because each school has different due dates. And when we get stressed out is when we set unrealistic expectations of ourselves. Like, okay, I could do essay number 1 in this month, and then I could do the essay for the second school next month. It's like, no, you have a couple of drafts for each school, and you have to get somebody to read it. And then you're probably working night shifts. So then you're not going to be in a deep writing state all the time. So we, as a side note, we still do have it. And it's our, roadmap planning spreadsheet. And I used to do these live calls with our accelerator students when I used to run our accelerator group program, and we would open up the spreadsheet. And I know as nurses, we're not always like Excel girlies, but I love me a good spreadsheet. And this one I paid somebody to make it really intuitive to use. But essentially what we would do is we would put all of your programs in there. We'd plug them all in, and it would auto populate in a timeline, month by month view, all the action items you had for each school based off of that due date. And so you could look at your 2 years of your application process and see month by month what major deadlines you had for each program. You're like, oh, wow, I thought I was going to be really free in May, but I see that I have 2 events to go to, essay, first draft for this school, final draft for this school, and then I'm supposed to request my letters of recommendation for 2 programs, and start studying for my CCRN in May. Like, whoa, I was going to take a vacation, but like maybe not. And it helps you really plan. And we still have that spreadsheet available in our platform, but essentially what I've done is I've turned like that is our platform, because I am that crazy about organization. And for you to step back and like really plan, because the people who I'm seeing get into CRNA school are the ones who are planning ahead. We have just this year, just in the last, 6 months, 2 people get into CRNA school who started with the CRNA club when they were seniors in nursing school. And I have seen them grow and mature from graduating nursing school, getting their ICU job, studying for their certifications, taking classes, GRE, applying to programs, and then getting accepted because they knew exactly what they needed to do as soon as they set foot in the ICU. And I think when people, start the process when they're ready to leave the ICU and when they're ready to get accepted, that can be, obviously that's too late. And number 2, that can be like very frustrating because you're like, wow, I have so much to do. I have projects to do, committees to join. I have exams to take. I have multiple certifications to get now. I have lots of shadowing to do. And you're like, I've been in the ICU for 2 years. I could have been working on this stuff. And, that's fine. Not everybody knows that they want to go to CRNA school the moment they set foot in the ICU. Some people, it takes them 3 to 5 years. And they're like, you know what? I really want to advance my education and go back to school. And CRNA is it. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not saying like, oh, you should know as soon as you get into ICU. I'm just saying like, okay, well now if, you're in the ICU for a little bit and then you decide you want to go to CRNA school, let's put yourself on a 2-year timeline. Let's just make it realistic. We know that most people don't get accepted their first application cycle, and they have to broaden a wider, cast their net a little wider in terms of what schools they apply to. So I think if we just step back and give ourselves some grace and be like, you know what, let me just broaden my timeline a little bit. Let me apply to more schools and just remind myself that as long as I'm moving forward in the right direction, I will get there. And I'm not going to compare myself to people on social media. I'm not going to compare myself to the other nurses on my unit who are getting in. I am on my own timeline. I'm putting in the work. I'm doing what I need to do. And I know that I'm going to get there. It's just a matter of time. And I know that it can be frustrating to not get what you want when you want it. I get it. I'm an only child. That's like the lesson I've had to learn my whole life. But I'm here to tell you that I know sometimes you're in a valley and you can't see what's in front of you. I'm telling you, when you're on the other side, after you get your acceptance letter, you're going to be like, oh man, that year and a half, those 2 years that I like struggled with the application process, it feels like an eternity ago. It's like, it doesn't even matter because now you're going to be in school. So don't be too discouraged. I am speaking this to myself just as much as I'm speaking it to you. Sometimes when we are in the pits, we just need a break. You just need to take a week off from all this application noise. Just give yourself a rest. Go do something that fills your cup. Spend time with your friends. Get out of this like application world. Take a breather. Because at the end of the day, we know life is short, right? Tomorrow's not guaranteed. In 10 years, is it going to matter that you got into CRNA school in 6 months or if you got into CRNA school in a year and a half? In 10 years, it's not going to matter, right? Like, I don't look at my CRNA colleagues and be like, haha, I got into CRNA school 6 months before you did. Like, no, it doesn't matter. Just think about yourself 10 years from now. What is really going to matter? And those are the things to stress about. So I just want to encourage you to keep moving forward. I know that for some of you, this is a really difficult season and it feels very discouraging, but just know that I'm in your corner and that we have a lot of resources and tools to help you here at the CRNA Club. And I hope that this encouraged you and just gave you a little bit of space to take a break or to take a breather and to examine your timeline and to examine the goals that you've set and ask yourself the hard questions of, is this really realistic? Okay, I hope this wasn't too much of a downer. It was meant to be encouraging and to tell you I empathize with you and I remember what it's like and I've been there too. So anyway, I will catch you guys on the next episode.